Hello, welcome back to another episode of Talkin' Laws. I'm Silas, to my right is James, to my left is Zach, and we will get into some Super Bowl review, reactions, thoughts. James, what was your initial takeaway?
Well, I had about two ways I wanted this game to go. One of them was, well, actually really just one, I guess. I just wanted the Eagles blowout. So I got
You
what I
picked
wanted.
them to win.
Yep. I wanted Eagles. I wanted to blow out. I thought it was going to be closer, personally. I thought it was going to be closer, but I knew it had to be somewhat of a defensive game, at least on the Eagles' standpoint, because if it was going to be a shootout, I mean, it showed up with Worthy hitting a couple of those long touchdowns. They have the ability to do it. So it was prudent of the Eagles to play a heavy defensive game. I trust Vic Fangio. He is a fantastic coordinator. He showed it again last night.
Yep.
That he took a bottom tier defense. I mean, they were like 26th last year, and they were number one. And it showed through heavily last night. That if you are so heavy, like the Chiefs are one of the top passing offensives. Well, you shut down their one side of the game that works. At least for the majority of the game, it didn't really matter. I mean, yeah, they
End of the game, it's trash time.
yeah.
So,
I mean, Mahomes still had 250 yards, but it was all in the majority of that was in garbage time. Like I think in the majority of his he probably 150 of it came in real time, and he had no time. He was constantly under pressure. Sacked 5-6 times?
5 or 6, yeah. He was like,
I don't remember. I have to look at the
it was a lot,
stats.
man.
I mean, it was a lot.
How much of it did it remind you of that Tampa Bay, Kansas City Super Bowl, the last Super Bowl Brady one? It reminded me of that a lot, where Mahomes was constantly under pressure, couldn't do anything.
Well, and I think that goes to show that that's a key to beating the Chiefs when you've got a Travis Kelce that can find space and zone defense, when you've got a Xavier Worthy that can beat you in man, so it makes it really hard to know which coverage to play in the back end. And a quarterback with the playmaking ability of Mahomes, the best way to disrupt that is with a good defensive line, get to Patrick Mahomes, disrupt the play, and get him on the ground. And when a team can do that, it doesn't matter if you can beat them in zone or man. If you don't have time to get somebody open in man, or for somebody to find the soft spot in the zone, if you don't have time for that because your quarterback's constantly under pressure all game long.
I mean, here's the sad part. Mahomes was their top rusher with 25 yards.
I don't remember very.
Pacheco-
Man, how many rushes did he? I mean,
Pacheco had
didn't have.
3 attempts for
I
7
I
yards.
think it was very much.
Hunt had 3 attempts for 9 yards, and P. Ryan had 1 attempt for 8 yards.
They didn't really try. But I
think they were passing
to be
almost
fair,
all the
most
time.
of their drives were really short.
No, they were
And
super
the first
short,
half
but
it was a lot of short drives.
Yep.
And so at that point, you're starting to play from behind.
Yeah.
Not as easy to run when you're playing from behind. It was just pure domination by the Philadelphia defense.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think the Kansas City defense played that bad. It snowballed on them a little bit. But one of the first half touchdowns is a pick six, and then another one is a short field.
well,
Mahomes throws
So
the interception at the 8.
You throw out
Yeah.
those 14 points there. The defense gave up, what was it, 17? I don't know what it is in total. But
Yeah,
first
no.
half,
Well,
there
there
was
was
take away 14.
First half was like
they
10.
scored 40. The
So
Eagles
it's
scored
26.
40.
Yeah, so
22.
first half, right? It was 24
24 nothing
Yeah.
at half.
So if you
Yeah.
take away the 14, that's only 10 points they gave up in the first half.
It
But it
should
should
have
have
been
insurmountable because of the defensive play and getting the takeaways.
Well, and they just had the Chiefs had no flow to their offense. So here's their drives in the first quarter.
Okay.
4 plays, 12 yards, a minute 41. That was a punt. Second one, 3 plays, 7 yards, minute 39.
Punt.
So that's their 2 drives. And in between that, sandwiched between that, you have an Eagles drive that was 7 plays, 69 yards with a touchdown that took 3:25. So even the Phillies' first drive,
The Phillies.
the Phillies'
Philly,
first drive,
okay.
yeah, Phillies' first drive.
Spring baseball's almost here. Yeah.
The Eagles' first drive still ended in a punt, but it took over 3.5 minutes off the clock. So they only went 10 yards, but they still burned up a fair amount of time. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it just kind of showed you that the Eagles slowly started to build on what they were doing. Now, the first drive in the second half was their interception. Was Hurts threw that interception.
Yep.
It was basically a punt. I mean, they intercepted it at the
2
4.
plays later was an interception.
Yeah.
For Philly at the 8.
No, that was on a later drive.
Oh, was that DeGene?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
So the first one was they just punted. They only went 7 yards after the interception. The Chiefs did.
Okay, I'm
And then
with
they
you now,
punted,
yeah.
and then the Eagles went down and got a field goal, and then it was DeGene's pick six.
Okay.
Which I think that's the flip in that game is his pick six
All the momentum's with Philly.
ignited that defense. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was astounding what they did after that.
It helps when you draft all Georgia defensive linemen.
Well, that's where I'm at. So I'm on the Eagles
Oh,
roster.
okay. All right, let's
we
hear
can
this.
Just go through some of these names. Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, I guess Milton Williams. I don't recognize that name. Josh Sweat, N'Kobe Dean, Zach Bond, Darius Slay, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, J.C. Gardner-Johnson, and Reed Blankenship. They are completely stacked on defense. And they've been building this for a while by doing nothing but just going and drafting the best defensive players. Not looking for that diamond in the rough, not that, because sometimes you see that with NFL GMs is they want to make that ooh wow, we drafted Tom Brady in the
You found Kurt Warner. Yeah.
or we found Brock Purdy last pick of the draft, and now look, that's what they want. But it's like sometimes you just go draft the best, biggest dude from Georgia.
Well, I think
and then you do that 4 times, and then look at what this defense.
think-
Well, you flip it Fangio.
Yeah.
That's what put him over the top.
that's the thing is, what did they add in the offseason to their defense?
Cooper DeJean.
Cooper DeJean.
And one of their tackles, defensive tackles, right? Wasn't
Was he a draft pick?
I thought they had
Jalen Carter. Is
yeah,
this his first
yeah.
year?
Jalen Carter's. This is his first year, shouldn't
I
it
thought it
be?
was his second year out of Georgia, I thought. Either
maybe
way,
it
he's
But
really young
he's
guy.
young.
Yeah.
So, but in the offseason,
Yeah, he's got 2 years.
okay, he has two. Okay, so, but Cooper DeJean. Okay, so you add
14 pounds.
their
how high?
314 pounds. He's only.
He seems
6'3".
light.
their
He's only
average.
6'3",
Did
though.
you see their average? 6'4" is their height.
It's like
average.
330 something, right?
Yeah, 338 is their average weight
Dude,
on the
those are
defensive
huge
line.
human beings.
I mean, they're just taking up room, and those guys don't move slow. I mean, they're
Oh,
they're
dude,
330
yeah. So fast.
pounds, and they're sprinting faster than most of the quarterbacks out of there.
Yep.
So they move side to side really well, and they were moving as a whole. Which when Fangio was in Chicago, same thing, right? He took a bottom tier defense, made him the top of the defense for multiple years in a row.
That's with
2,
Mitch
3 years in a row.
Trubisky at quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm looking at these names on the defense, and all of them just says Georgia as their college.
Uh-huh.
It's crazy the dudes that Georgia has pumped out.
Yeah.
Credit to Kirby Smart.
Yep. But it's just that is your difference in this Eagles team.
Yeah.
Offensively, they didn't add a lot. Defensively, they didn't add a lot. But the coaching just got so much better. You added Vic Fangio. You took the stress off of the offense, right? They were able to just kind of play their game because they weren't worried about comeback wins or
Nope.
having to score 40 points a game to win the game. It wasn't shootouts. No, they just played casual football.
Don't screw up.
Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
turn the ball over. Extend drives. Don't turn the ball over. The defense is going to do their job.
And they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, Silas and I both picked Kansas City last week, both with the hope that Philly would take care of business, and they did. I thought it'd be a lot closer. I thought it'd be high scoring, and
The Kansas City we saw late in that game,
uh-huh.
finally getting those big plays, which is kind of out of necessity, but I thought we were going to see that coming out of the half. I thought it's
I kind of
okay.
did too.
Andy Reid goes in, makes his adjustments, but then it was right out of the half, a 3 and out and like 2 sacks or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly, but
But it wasn't good, regardless.
it's Kansas City went in with a half to make adjustments and came out, and the Eagles defense did the exact same thing that they'd done all first half long.
Yeah, so you're right. They came out of the half. They had a rush, a pass, 2 sacks, a run, and then punted.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your drive. So you come out of halftime thinking, okay, they made their adjustment. They're gonna go, because I thought the same thing. That's what they've done all year. They struggle maybe. They get to halftime.
They find ways to win. That's like the definition of the Chiefs team.
Well,
They just
and
find
Travis
ways to
Kelsey always seems to be a pivotal guy in their second half performance.
Yep.
He did nothing. Did he have
had
three catches?
He had 3 catches, and Taylor Swift only showed up on the screen twice.
Yeah.
win. Okay,
So-
real quick, since we got to that topic.
You've been
Did
waiting
you-
for this, haven't you?
Yes. Did you see the video of her getting booed?
And
Yeah.
she goes,
sorry.
what'd she go like? What
She's
is
like-
happening?
She's like, "What's going on?
What's going on?" Yeah, that's right.
That is.
That's funny.
And
my
meanwhile,
favorite
President
video.
Trump shows
That's
up
my
with a
favorite
huge
video I've
ovation.
seen in a long time.
I was
The
really
president shows up
surprised.
to an ovation,
Yeah.
and Taylor Swift is getting booed. And things are looking better.
I like it. Yeah.
That it was really interesting just on how many Eagles fans sounded there when the Chiefs ran out. I thought I heard more boos than anything when they ran out of the tunnel, and then when the Eagles ran out of the tunnel, it was loud. So
Yeah.
the Eagles fans were pumped, and I don't know if the Chiefs fans just weren't
They've done it so
cheering
many
as loud,
times.
but
I don't know.
I just don't know if
Is
they
it-
weren't excited. But it's odd because you're
Is it
going
kind of
for
as
that.
like a Chiefs fan? The expectations just
Maybe.
you're kind of just we're gonna win.
We're here, we're gonna win.
Yeah, like,
Yep.
it can sometimes be that.
Do you think that's a little bit the way the team played too? Like, we're here, we're gonna win.
Well, here's the thing. Kansas City has been getting by with the skin of their teeth all year. Every week during the season, it was somehow, some way, Kansas City's down. Somehow you look up and they're winning. You don't know how they did it,
Or
but they
a missed
did.
field goal, or a blocked field goal.
Don't
or a,
remind me,
right? I mean, it's
but yeah.
those kind of winning games. So
But yeah, and so the Kansas City finally got their comeuppance.
yeah.
They screwed around and they found out.
Which, if you take Xavier Worthy out of the picture last night, you basically have no offense. Kelsey had 39 yards.
He had that many yards? That seems impossible.
That was it. 39 yards, 4 catches.
Wait, 4. Okay, I thought he had 3.
I think he had a late one.
Okay.
Gray had 2 yards. Marquise Brown had 15.
How about Hopkins?
Kareem Hunt had 5. Schuster had 16. Pacheco had 5. Hopkins had 18.
And he almost had on the touchdown reception.
Yeah. But
I mean,
that's it. You have no offense. Xavier Worthy, because he's a deep threat, was the only reason you had a little offense.
Xavier Worthy's the only one with a good box score for the
He
Chiefs
had,
team.
yeah, he had 8 touches, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I looked at the
50.
QBR near the end of the first half. Mahomes is at 13,
Golly.
and Hurts is at
Yeah,
94.
he ended with 103, but that's not.
How?
Because
With the
his
interceptions.
fourth quarter was okay.
Yeah, but I mean, Jalen Hurts with a passer rating of almost 130.
I mean, there's
So,
a reason. There's
I
a reason the guy
thought-
won MVP.
I thought Hurts was very efficient in the game.
Yeah, he had the plays he had to.
He looked healthy when he was getting out and escaping. During the playoffs, he looked slow. He looked like he was injured. Right, he couldn't go finish a play the way he wanted to. If anybody was close, he had to slide because he couldn't risk it getting hurt worse. He looked healthy. He was
and
in
he
rhythm
didn't
in
make
the
bad
offense.
decisions.
No, not at all.
The interception was not his fault.
No.
He had a guy in his face. He was going back to throw,
Yeah.
and he couldn't finish through on his
It-
throw. He
yeah.
got a guy right in his
Exactly.
face.
At least you flipped the field
Yeah,
at
well,
least.
Yeah, it was a
And-
punt. So
Yeah.
it was a kind of a trash interception because
Yeah.
it flipped the field. They went from their 45 to the 4.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not
So-
gonna fault
Yeah,
the guy.
it's fine.
For throwing it into the end zone because he's got AJ Brown down there. Like that's not usually a bad decision. You get hit, underthrown.
It
Kind of
happens,
throw
but
that
at least
off.
you flipped the field.
And the Chiefs, as far as I know, I don't think they scored off of
No,
that.
they didn't.
no,
And
it,
so
that, was,
it was a
that
punt.
was 2 plays later. It was an interception.
Punt. They
But that was
punted
the
on
punt.
that one.
I
Yep.
keep getting those mixed up, but yeah.
Yeah, it was that late game one where it was a similar feeling, and then
Okay.
they threw that interception down on their Mahomes threw it
This
on
makes
like
me
his 20, but
curious.
Mahomes got a guy pushed into him on that one too.
He looked right to the linebacker.
Yeah,
almost,
yeah,
like.
he way underthrew it because when he went to throw, he had his own lineman pushed into him because that's how bad that offensive line was last
And
night.
they just got. It was the snap, and they're just getting bull rushed backwards.
Yeah, it wasn't even like it
It
was.
wasn't like Dwight Freeney or Robert Mathis back in the day for the Colts, where Dwight Freeney could do that patented spin move of
Yeah.
his and go to town.
no, it was
They
very
just push.
It was
straight
very
ahead.
little like technique moves. It was just straight bull rush.
I'm stronger than you.
And they just
Yeah.
ran him over.
It just,
Yeah.
just the Chiefs' offensive line isn't the same that it has been for the last few years. I don't know if that's just injury or just different guys. And it shows with your point where the Chiefs rather had just zero rushing game. Well, if your offensive line can't block, you can't run the ball.
Well,
and
that's
Go
just
ahead.
where it starts.
Well, they contained them too. Even when they did try run plays, they never got to the second level.
scrambling everywhere.
Yeah, but it was just like the linemen tackled the running backs. It's very rare that you have that consistently through the game.
Yeah,
Usually they get to the second level at some point, right? They get an 8 or 10-yard run and they get into that linebacker.
Yeah.
I don't know if they ever got that.
Even Saquon got to the second level, I think, just once.
Yeah, it wasn't
And
a lot.
here's the thing.
2 or 3 maybe.
Right, but I mean, he only had 56 rushing
Yeah.
yards on 25 attempts.
Yeah.
Not that they weren't trying to feed the guy, but I mean, give credit to Steve Spagnuolo and the defense. They did a great job. I understand. I would do the same thing. Take away Barkley, force Hurts to beat you. Now that's still really tough to win.
Yep.
Take away Saquon. That's what I'd do.
Well, they really
They
took
did.
away Saquon, and I think they kind of took away Goddard too, because
Goddard only had
only-
one or two
Goddard
catches.
only had
catches.
27 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, only 2 catches. I think the Eagles did a pretty good job also using Saquon in the passing game. I mean,
Yeah, he had
6
40.
catches. I mean, that's your leading
Yeah.
receiver with 6 catches. So you still found ways to use him. But there was also a certain just level of not needing to, just because of how suffocating the defense was.
Yeah.
Your help with the pick 6 with a short field, and it was just everything went right for the Eagles, but not in a fluky way.
No,
No,
it
it was
was.
the-
They
they were-
deserved it. It wasn't one of those.
It went right
Yeah.
for them, and they were the better team. Kind
Yeah,
of.
it was a very fundamental win for the Eagles. It wasn't like, oh, this call went their way and that call went their way.
Okay.
And now, if anything, there was a bad call, a non-call on when Mahomes got the guy right in his face. Right, I would say that out of it, most of the roughing the passer calls on Mahomes this year, that was the most egregious I seen, and that one didn't get called. So if you're gonna complain about a call, now does it change the outcome of the game? It
No.
doesn't. It was too late in the game to
Yeah.
have changed anything.
Yep.
Should have been called? Yes, it should have been. But should the pass interference been called on AJ Brown early in the game? No, that was garbage.
That was hand fighting.
Right,
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
and he never extended. He was extended all the way. They
I
were
thought it
kind
looked
of
like he
fighting,
tripped a little
and
bit at
then,
the end.
yeah,
Just kind of
Yeah.
shred.
yeah, no, he did. And so, so you have a bad call one way and a bad no call the other way.
Yeah.
Does it even out a little bit? Maybe not. I don't think there was a difference either
Well,
one of
now,
those calls
here's
were
the
made
thing.
in the game.
But to be fair, though, if that AJ Brown pass interference,
That was a
Is it
touchdown.
called? well, it was.
They're gonna go score a
That was a big
touchdown, and they're
game.
gonna kick
That's
a field
big
goal at the
game.
minimum.
Like, that drive continues. Then, it's that was one that stalled the drive. Had the Patrick Mahomes been one been called, that would have aided a drive. Now, there's no guarantee they do anything with it either
Right.
way, but it's and so it almost could have been worse for the Eagles. Or for the Chiefs, had that AJ Brown one not been called.
Yeah, it's 47 to 22. But, I got 2 things in my mind. Can we please put to bed the refs are in bed with the Kansas City Chiefs thing?
After this one, I agree that this group of refs isn't the
So
Eagles.
this group of refs,
yeah,
is
this one definitely got paid more by the
check
Eagles.
Must have cleared first.
Yeah.
So here's okay. So put the conspiracy.
Howie
hat on.
Rose has
They-
got more money than
They
Clark
went
Hunt
up.
does.
They
put
went
on-
up for a bidding game. They were like, "All right, we're gonna put our this group of refs up for a bid," and it was a private, a sealed bid or whatever. So the other team couldn't tell who it was. The Eagles came out on top. So
Howie
Okay,
Rose
so-
has got more money than Clark Hunt does,
So put
apparently.
your conspiracy hat on then. Is this the NFL's tired of hearing this whole refs?
So they
Chiefs
had to
thing?
make it.
So they tell the refs, "Hey, go with the Eagles on this one. It's all right. We don't need the Chiefs to three-peat. We'll get them off our back a little bit."
Yeah.
Conspiracy hat?
No.
No.
I am not a tinfoil hat guy.
No? Okay,
Sorry.
okay.
I don't.
Just throwing it out there.
I don't think it's true. It felt like it all year, right? I mean, it did.
Sure.
But
I get it, but
I think there's more. I don't buy into that the NFL's rigged with the refs. I think it's just more so you fall into kind of a trap of, if Patrick Mahomes is your biggest superstar, you want him to succeed because that's what brings in the most money. I think it's more in that camp, and calls are going to be more favored to the best players, right?
Look at Tom Brady when he was playing, right?
Oh yeah,
he
same
got
with the
it's
knee.
the same thing.
he
in
got
the
a
NBA.
lot of favorable
It's
calls.
the same thing in the NBA.
Rodgers.
with LeBron and some of those guys.
Aaron
It's just,
Rodgers
yes.
when he was with the Packers got
Yeah.
a lot of favorable calls, right?
just-
As
it's
a Bears
just- it's
Packer,
what
as
you're
a
just
Bears
gonna
fan,
see
I
at
watched
the
a lot
highest
of them
level.
happen and got super annoyed.
Yeah.
But right where you get up and you go, "Where's the flag on a pass interference?" Right, and the ref goes, "Yeah, okay, I'll give you that one."
Because
right?
you want to protect your superstars, right? You want them to be healthy. You want them to get the calls because that's what brings in the money when they are the ones succeeding the most. And so I just think it's more that. Anyways, you had a second.
Yeah, being that we're from Iowa, even though he was a Hawk, I loved watching Cooper
Yep,
DeJean
agreed.
at Iowa.
That was awesome.
Now, I will say this: I am not in the camp that says, he didn't fair catch it properly. No, that was a blown call against Minnesota last year.
The refs didn't handle that right.
No, they
either
did
way.
not. No.
It's either a fair catch and you blow it dead, or it's not a fair catch and it's a touchdown.
Oh, right.
So either way, I put that.
I wish you would have started the podcast last year so we could have talked about that. Well, I can't wait for college football. Yeah.
The best thing I can say about Cooper DeJean is I'm glad he's not in Iowa anymore.
Correct. Yes.
Yep.
I'll cheer for the guy.
Yeah.
He's great for the state.
White corner.
White corner, represent us white boys. Can you guys tell me? I'll tell you where his high school. I'll tell you what his high school is. Can you guys name all 4 of the schools in the consolidated school district? OABCIG.
What is it in Iowa?
It's in Iowa. Yep.
Oskaloosa.
Nope. Oskaloosa Zone.
Because it's
That's true.
You're never. You might get one.
It's northwestish of here, where he's from. Is it Clear Lake? It's somewhere by Clear Lake.
All you
My wife
Hawkeye
Googled it
fans,
last night,
chime
so
in
I
the
don't know.
comments. I'm sure you know where it's at.
I wouldn't
I
even know where
don't
to
look
start.
at. I'll tell you.
I wouldn't even know where to start. on
okay,
that.
I'll tell you.
Okoboji
Nope.
is that part of it?
Nope, that's my Spirit Lake. Nope. It's Odebolt, Arthur, Battle Creek, Ida Grove.
Okay.
Ida Grove.
Four
That was one.
You're right. That's four small towns in Iowa, just consolidated.
Yep.
But it's really cool to see the small town Iowa kid. It's on his birthday. It's his
Yep.
birthday yesterday. He's a Super
What
Bowl
was-
champion,
what
and he
was
got a
his-
pick 6. His first career interception.
He got a pick
It's a pick
six
6
What was-
against
how cool is
Patrick
that?
Mahomes.
Yeah.
In the Super Bowl. How
That's-
cool is
in
that?
the Super Bowl.
So there's nowhere to go but down.
Yeah, you
All he had
can't
to do was
You-
propose.
yeah.
and That's the top.
Yeah.
propose to his
I
girlfriend
forgot my thought.
and just rub it in
There was
Kelsey's
a
face.
stat the NFL threw up because there was a stat the
Tay-Tay's
NFL
gonna
threw
break
up,
that one.
Taylor.
and he's like the one of the few players to ever score a touchdown in the Super Bowl on their birthday or a playoff game, postseason
Right.
game.
Yeah.
on the
I wouldn't
it's
be
something like
surprised.
that.
Very
and
rare.
So very rare, and so just that's like just an ultimate all-time moment. Like I don't. Know
I was so happy
I don't know
for
how you
him.
ever get a better career moment than that.
Right.
You
Like,
just
that's-
retire right now.
Yeah, you're retiring on top.
Yep. You got your Super Bowl.
But no, that was probably my favorite play from the
Same
from
here.
the whole game was seeing that.
yeah, that was really neat. Just, I mean, it means more when you have a guy from the state that you like.
Well, and he wasn't ever anybody in college who I just didn't like. I just didn't like him because he was so stinking good.
Well, and he played for our rivals.
Yeah. And so it's just like when he's that good, it's just you don't not like him because he's not likable. There's plenty
Right.
of guys like that. It's just
Of course.
he's just so good, and so I'm happy to see him succeeding in the NFL.
Yeah. No, the game was great. You were talking about 15 minutes ago, Jim. You were talking about time of possession. 37 minutes of time of possession to 23.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
They kept Mahomes off the field. And even if he was on the field, he wasn't doing anything. He couldn't. He couldn't.
There was no rhythm.
He's either
for the
getting
Chiefs.
sacked or getting flushed
So
out of
here,
the pocket.
I guess I can go through some of these game stats real quick.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
yep, time of possession 37 to 23.
Mm-hmm.
First downs, I think this. I don't know. I know at one point again the broadcast threw up a stat that Eagles had 10 first downs and the Chiefs had 10 plays.
Something like that.
There's
I
something
saw
like
that too. Yeah.
So that ends with Eagles 21 to 12. So not even close. Total yards is 345 to 275.
and that was only because of the
that's
late bomb
because
to
of late,
Worthy that helped
which
it
is
out.
shown in passing yards 210 to 226.
well,
Chiefs win
both
that
of his
one.
touchdowns were like 50
Rush-
or 60 yards.
They were hefty.
Here's one
yeah.
of the biggest ones for me though. Rushing yards is 135 for the Eagles and 49 for the Chiefs.
Jalen Hurts made the
care-
runs to get the first down.
I don't care
Those helped a
how
lot.
good you are. you're not winning a Super Bowl with 50 total team rushing yards.
Yep.
No.
Well, and
That's
you,
just not enough.
you generally see Mahomes do those dumb scrambles where he goes for like 15 yards and gets those
So
first downs
annoying.
all
Yeah.
the time. He
just-
couldn't
he
last
couldn't.
night. They were swarming to him.
There was one play where he looked like he stepped up right into a sack, and I was like, where was he going on that? It looked like he stepped right into it, and then you show the bird's eye view, and there's a gap there. He thinks he's got it, and then just bam, they swarm, close it, and it was crazy.
It's like they were baiting him all night right to where they wanted him to go.
It
Yeah.
worked.
Penalty yards is 8 to 7.
yeah.
Eagles actually got called for more penalties, so I don't know what the penalty.
But I don't know
yardage
about
is.
accepted penalties.
Yeah, I don't know how that works in the stats. I'm guessing it would have to be accepted for it to be counted.
You'd
but,
think.
Probably.
total return yards, whatever. Total plays 70 to 49.
That's a huge
Golly.
difference. 21 more plays.
Eagles
That's
had
huge.
more yards per play, so that's probably because of your pick six and your short field. That's why Chiefs ended up with more. And then total turnovers is 3 to 1. It's football will always come down to a certain set of fundamentals: trenches and turnovers.
Yep.
You didn't win the trenches and you didn't win the turnovers, and that's why you lose by 18 points, and it should have been a lot more than that.
Well,
Yeah.
you do realize that one, maybe two of the garbage touchdowns were against the Eagles' backups.
The last one with,
had
with
backups
Worthy
in.
was definitely
they
backups.
had none of their starters in.
Why would you?
They were all having fun on the sidelines,
Yeah.
and the Chiefs went and scored a
Yeah,
touchdown.
Silas Kenny Small Hands Pickett was in there.
I did see that
He had one
an
pass
attempt.
that was terrible.
Hey, you won a Super Bowl?
Yeah, he overthrew and behind his receiver to
Like an Iowa quarterback.
And
No
he's got a
one.
Super Bowl ring to show
Yep.
it.
But he did get to take the victory formation. So
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
that is pretty cool.
it is a really bad Super Bowl though for the Chiefs when you've got the Eagles playing their backups on defense with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
That is pretty bad. I will say the one positive I have for the Chiefs is it was cool to see DeAndre Hopkins score a touchdown
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the Super Bowl.
Good for him.
I don't know how much play he's got left.
There's a
There's a
reason
guy
he
who
went
just-
to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
He
You're
was
trying to
looking for a
win.
Yep.
ring.
Yeah.
And it's it's interesting because you have a somewhat similar dynamic between Saquon and DeAndre Hopkins, both from teams that
Garbage.
just aren't as good.
At least you acknowledge
Houston's
it.
been better. Giants have sucked. Okay, and Saquon gets out of New York, goes wins the Super Bowl.
Yep.
DeAndre gets out of Houston, did he
Arizona.
It was
because it was
Arizona.
Arizona and then
Yep.
Houston, and so he finally gets under that championship roster team.
Well, that's
They
what he
don't
thought he
win
was
it.
getting with Arizona. J.J. Watt went there, and then Hopkins came
Murray's
over.
there.
Kyler Murray. There was a lot of
Hopkins.
pieces in place, and it just
Yeah.
Kyler Murray spent
didn't
too
amount
much
to
time
nothing.
So
on
you
Call
get
of
to the
Duty to
Chiefs,
win a
you
Super
get to the
Bowl.
Super Bowl. So at least he got to score a touchdown. I'm sure that'll mean a lot to him because he doesn't have a lot of career left. He's been
Nope.
a phenomenal wide receiver.
Is he a borderline Hall of Famer? I don't think he's in as of right now.
I don't know.
I don't know what his career stats are, but
I don't think he's done enough.
He's not Julio Jones. Julio
No.
Jones never won a title, but he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. Early on in that game, Hopkins had a gimme for a
Just dropped it.
and just dropped it.
Just
Yeah.
dropped it. Yeah.
It was just so odd to
Just
see
looks-
that from
just looks
him.
old out there, which is it's tough to see players that you've watched for so long look that way out there.
It happens to all of them.
Yeah. Except for
Um,
like Tom Brady, but other than that,
Yeah. So who we got for next year? We're 364 days till our next Super Bowl, Super Bowl 60. Right now, who
Are
would
they
you
going to
take-
do the dumb what they did with the 50 and do 6-0? You know, they did Super
rather
Bowl
do Roman
50 and it was
numerals.
5-0 for 50.
Yeah, they should just do the.
Because
Roman
otherwise it
numerals.
would have just been L.
even Super Bowl.
Yeah,
L
big
for
old.
love.
I wanted a big old L. Super
L for
Bowl.
love.
So I'm guessing that's why they didn't do that. But X, you'd be what, LX for 60. So they'll stay with
XLX.
they'll call
All
it
right,
the
let's
licks.
go.
They'll
Let's
call
go
it the licks
let's
Super
go
Bowl.
AFC first.
Okay.
Who you taking, Zach?
Oh boy.
Out of the AFC, I mean, I'm just dying to take Buffalo, but they find a way to screw up every time. I'll say this right now, and I'll do my AFC, and I'll keep my NFC in my pocket till you call it, Silas. But I think Baltimore gets over the hump, and they're going to the Super Bowl next year. Lamar, Derrick Henry, they had a really good team this year. They're so close. One thing away, and there's one piece. And I hate not picking Buffalo. I love Josh Allen. I love their team. I can't do it anymore. I can't keep picking the Bills anymore just to have them lose to the worst Chiefs team of the Mahomes era.
Yeah.
That's who I got. I got Baltimore.
I was somewhere around Baltimore. I
Uh-huh.
think I'm gonna throw in the dark horse here, a random one. I'm gonna do the Chargers.
Okay.
I actually really like that pick.
Okay, you got to give me some reasons here. Obviously, Herbert,
So,
Jim Harbaugh. That helps.
Herbert is looking a lot better under Harbaugh.
Oh yeah.
They have a lot of building pieces. McConkey's good. They've got oh man, I can't remember their tight end's name right now. But they've brought in a lot of young
It's not Hunter
talent.
Henry, is it?
No, he's in New England now.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
right. I can't
Because
remember
they
their tight
got
end
rid
now.
of him for some reason.
But
Yeah.
they've brought in and replaced a lot of their old guys with, I think, really good, solid young talent, and Harbaugh's doing a good job with that team. Defensively, they're getting a little on the old side, but I think they fixed that in the draft this year. I think they bring in some young guys, but they've still got guys like Khalil Mack and the brother of Bosa, Joey Bosa there.
Yep.
I mean, it's like they've still got a lot of good pieces on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
They looked really good this year. They looked like what they were missing was a good coach, and Harbaugh is that.
I mean, just look at the turnaround that there was in just year one.
Yep.
There.
Yep.
It's similar to Denver. I think Denver gets the playoffs again next year. I think they
Not
lose.
gonna go to the AFC title game.
No, I think
Yeah.
they lose again either early, like either first or second
Win a
round
wild card.
again. Yeah,
That'd be great. That's the
I think
next
they
step.
win a wild card and
Yeah.
then lose in the divisional round.
Yeah.
but they're on the precipice. But they're dealing with inexperience at quarterback, which is it's a different thing to train
Of
and
course.
learn from. Herbert has an experience in playoff play, but he has a lot of experience in regular season. And
Yep.
so I think Harbaugh is the difference in him being able to play in playoffs versus in that, like, he brings that experience. He's done it. He's won a title, right? I mean, there's some of that he's able to bring to that team. So I'm throwing in a dark horse. I don't know if it happens, but that's my. that's
We'll
my-
go back over this at the beginning of the year and see if we change our minds after the draft and free
Yeah.
agency and all that.
Be interesting.
I'm just gonna go with the first team that popped in my mind. I'm gonna go Buffalo. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the AFC.
Not a bad choice.
NFC.
Yep.
Who you got one?
I got an all-bird Super Bowl. Philly's going back again next year. I got Baltimore, Philly, and this time the roles are reversed. Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson get their first title. Going with the AFC winning next year, and just for the heck of it, why not throw out a score anyway? Why not? It's fun. It's fun.
Just to really, really be wrong.
26,
Just to
20
really be wrong.
Yeah, that's fine. 26-21 Baltimore.
Wow.
Not that he hasn't thought about it or anything.
I had 40 minutes from the camper over to the house to
side.
think about it. So
You're a slow walker. NFC side, I don't even know. Eagles are probably like
Eagles are your favorite for sure.
do
100%.
do Commanders throw another in there again? I
they
mean,
need
they
another couple pieces, but they're definitely up there.
maybe
Or
I
does
just
Jay
go-
Daniels take a sophomore slump?
maybe
I don't know.
I don't
Same
know.
with Bo Nix in
about-
Denver next year.
I gotta think about what teams.
I think the Carolina Panthers are on the come up.
I'm going. I know they lost a lot of pieces. I'm gonna go Lions. They lost a lot of coaching staff,
Tons.
but I think I'm gonna go Lions. They have a ton of talent. They got a lot of pieces there, player wise, ton of talent. Their defense was all sort of banged up. I think Campbell brings back in coaching to replace this. He probably knew he was losing Ben Johnson. You knew
Aaron
you were
Glenn.
losing Aaron Glenn.
Yep.
And so he probably already had people in mind of who he was bringing in to replace those guys. I'm going to go Chargers, Lions, odd Super Bowl.
Hey, I
kind of
love
fair.
odd
Super
Super Bowls. The Chargers have been to a
As long as the Chargers wear the
The LT era.
not the powder blues. I like the
don't
navy.
like the
No, the Navy
I don't-
Blues.
I like the navy.
That
blues.
was
not
LT.
the powder blue.
That was
I
LaDainian
like the
Tomlinson.
powder blue.
yes.
He wore. That's what I'm saying.
Making
LT.
sure we're on the same page.
Yeah,
as
the
us.
LT Navy Blues.
I like the powder blue.
No.
I like the powder blue.
Are
I'm not
you
a fan of the powder blue.
Are
I
you
like the
allowed
navies.
to you wear a throwback jersey in the Super Bowl?
I don't
Is there
know how
something against
works.
that?
I don't know. Like, that'd be cool though. The Chargers haven't been to a Super Bowl since 1995, and that was their only title. game they ever went to.
So before I decide on a team, because I still don't know, neither of you want to take the Cowboys? Sure on
Tempting. Didn't even come to mind.
no.
that? Oh, just making sure.
Let me think. No.
Yeah.
Just for reasons,
I'm going to take Cowboys as number 1 pick next year. No.
I'm gonna go Vikings. I'm gonna go with the somebody has to win at Super Bowl next year.
Interesting.
You're going to make a lot of people at church awfully mad or happy at you.
He's going to go. He's going to go Bills Vikings. Bills blow out the Vikings.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
That. I'm not gonna hurt my feelings.
So you get to basketball practice the next day.
Honestly, what I want for next year is someone who hasn't been to the Super Bowl in the last 10 years. I would just want 2 new teams.
So we're getting a Chiefs Eagles repeat.
Yeah. But like, right, I want different people. You're going through the same thing that we went through with the Patriots. It was just like always Patriots. Patriots
dude,
and who?
don't forget
Patriots
about
and who?
how many years in a row. Now I know we're not fans of the NBA necessarily, but how many years in a row did we have Cavaliers and Golden State?
I don't know because I didn't watch it.
Yeah, Cavs, Golden State. Cavs,
Okay,
Golden
I
State.
did, but-
Right. It was just normal to see them there, and you just had. I
boring
mean, but
as
it's like college football too. Alabama, Georgia, Clemson. You know, I mean, it's
That's
like
helped with the 12-team playoff. Though,
yeah,
I think,
but
a
I'm
lot.
just saying over the last 5-6 years, right? It was like okay, it's going to be Georgia and who? It's going to be Clemson and
for
who?
the
It's going to be
longest
LSU
time,
and who? It's going to be
it
Alabama
was-
and who?
For the longest time, it was Alabama or New England winning the championship. They never. I don't know if they ever won it.
It
the
never
same year,
s-
but
they
it was
probably
like,
did.
It
I'd
was
have
like,
to
all
look,
right,
but-
Nick Saban didn't win. All right, I guess the Patriots are winning the Super Bowl, and it felt. I can remember this vividly. Going, and it was either Saban's winning it or.
But it was just like
Belichick
it was
winning
kind of boring to watch football. You were just like, yeah, okay, I've seen this before. You know, it's just like
Yeah.
it's not fun to watch anymore.
Isn't that the glory and the majesty of March Madness, though?
It is true. Just
You don't see the same teams
chaos
chaos
involved.
except for UConn the last couple.
The chaos involved in March Madness is fun. I do like it. It's a lot. Now, I also look back at like baseball. There's been a little bit of difference in some of the
Oh, yeah.
teams that have won the World Series. You know, Rangers got it 2 years ago. Astros,
Nationals were
Yep.
in there.
So it's
Yep,
like
Braves.
I think that one levels
Cubbies
out.
8 years ago.
Yeah, but it's like
2016. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a fun night.
But
Me and Jim screaming and Megan telling us not to wake the
Pillows.
kids up. That was a
Yeah.
good night.
so I just would like to see somebody new.
Okay,
to be
here's my
perfectly
question,
honest.
real quick.
This is the longest segment we've ever done.
When was the last time
Full
Tom Brady
podcast.
played in the Super Bowl in a Patriots uniform? Was it the Eagles Super Bowl?
Where they
Oh,
lost.
wasn't the Rams after that? The
Was the
13-3
Rams
Super
after
Bowl?
that?
Thought the Rams.
Where it was the most boring Super Bowl ever,
Ever.
3-13.
13-3.
Was that after
yeah.
that?
Yeah, I'm almost certain that
might have
that
been.
Rams and
I remember
Patriots
it was- okay.
was after.
So
Eagles,
shortly
I
after
thought.
losing to the Eagles in the Super Bowl, Patriots dynasty was over.
Yeah, Nick Foles just wrecked them.
Can we hope we get the same thing here?
Mahomes
Maybe
is
the
just
Chiefs
turning.
dynasty is
thing
almost
Mahomes,
over?
Mahomes is just turning 30 next year.
Yeah, I know.
That's it.
I know. The only
just so
thing,
good.
so I still think the Chiefs are going to be good for a long time,
Oh yeah.
unfortunately. But they are.
As long as Andy Reid is there.
Yeah. If Andy Reid ever retires,
Who knows?
I think the Chiefs team takes a turn.
Well,
down
here's
a
okay. Now
little
here's
bit.
a question: If you're now, we focused a lot on the Eagles and all that in this Super Bowl review. What do the Chiefs need to do? There's a lot of things they got to fix. Because Chris Jones isn't getting any younger. Travis, they got an old team. It feels like
Yeah.
almost.
I think, yeah, it's just you kind of just start to rebuild. You have to, I think,
you
rebuild.
need tight end.
I think
you need
you
receiver.
I think you need to start rebuilding
Running
your lines.
back.
Because defense is good. Under Spagnuolo, that defense is still
Very good.
So I think you keep adding depth, you keep adding pieces. Offensively, I think you're gonna have to start looking for a Kelsey replacement.
You need a number one
Is,
that-
receiver.
is
that
Noah
could be
is
this year, I
Noah
don't
Gray
know.
not a good enough replacement for Kelsey? I mean,
Listen,
honestly,
we're not talking a Hernandez Gronk situation.
No, I know,
here.
but I'm just saying, like, honestly, I think through the year, Gray was more targets than Kelsey was this year. If we had to look at it, I would guess they're pretty close, or Gray actually has more.
But is that because Kelsey's on the field? And so the attention is going to Kelsey?
Maybe.
Kelsey was just so off this year. He just looks old.
Just looks old. He's definitely close to retirement.
You wonder. I
I
wonder if he is, if he will retire in the next few weeks before
Yeah.
free agency starts. He'll inform
Possibly.
the team that he's retiring. The guy doesn't need to prove anything. He's a Hall of
So,
Famer for sure.
But either way, I don't know that Noah Gray is I think he's a good second piece, but I don't think he's tight end one.
Yeah, Brady's last Super Bowl was against the Rams
That's what I
Okay.
thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
in 2019.
Yeah, but I think if you're the
That's right.
Chiefs, I think you need to target a number one receiver. That's your first pick. Now you got pick number 31.
Yeah.
How many picks
Because
can you give up to move back up into the mid round? In the mid round,
And I just
Smith Schuster's
it just-
not a good enough to.
no.
he's a troublemaker.
Yeah.
I think you do
Hopkins
need. To,
was
I don't
getting
know that
old.
He's
Xavier
old.
Worthy's a true one.
No, but he's a
good- great slot. He's a
good
Tyreek
slot.
Hill
Yep,
plays
yep.
with.
You need to go get a big body. Go
You
and
need
get a
Antonio
receiver.
Brown.
Tetraroll. You need
Go
Tetraroll.
get your own AJ Brown.
Yeah, but
You
that's
need
what I'm saying.
Tetraroll and McMillan.
But that's what you need, right? The Eagles have AJ Brown. It's the big guy that's like, here, go
And then you
catch
got
this
Devontae
ball.
Smith.
And you got Devontae Smith, who's kind of a deep threat.
So you go get your AJ Brown to your Xavier Worthy right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Tetraroll
I
McMillan
think
out of
you-
Arizona. Huge
offensive
body.
line. You got to be better on the offensive line if you're the Chiefs. I don't know if I like the running back room for the Chiefs either.
Pacheco's
Kareem
not
Hunt's
bad.
like a
They
million
need.
years old.
I don't mind having a guy who's a dash guy like Pacheco.
I
You need someone who
love
can
Pacheco.
just
I think
who can
Pacheco's
just
an awesome running
run
back.
over
Yeah,
someone.
you need a heavy back.
You
Hunt
need-
used
you
to
need to
be
replace
that,
Hunt.
Not Scadaboo.
but he's.
Scadaboo's going to Denver. I do not want Scadaboo.
You
in
know what I
Kansas
saw
City.
is the Bears
He's going to Kansas
taking
City.
what's his face out of
Hate
Boise
that.
State.
Genty,
Yeah,
Ashton
I saw the
Genty?
Bears taking Ashton Genty,
and then
which
he'll be a
doesn't make
Lion in 6 years.
Well, that's what I was like. I don't. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because they've got a pretty heavy back, unless they're replacing Swift. But Swift is the speed back.
He
and
just
then
got
you've
signed
got-
last year
yeah.
or two ago, right? Yeah, no,
yeah.
he's.
And then
I-
you've got Johnson out of Texas, the guy that backed up.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Why can't I
Yeah,
think of his name? Not David Johnson. It's
that's a while.
Yeah, that's a
back.
long
That
time
one
ago.
good year for the Northern Iowa running back. He's had a good year, but yeah,
yeah, I think it's just.
Bijan Robinson.
you just-
He backed up Bijan.
I think
yeah.
the Chiefs need better pieces and more depth on the O line.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the biggest thing. Because the defense,
they
is
just
fine.
need to
the defense
replace
is really
everything.
good this year.
And you look at how the Chiefs, they kind of switched it so many things here. You're used to seeing Mahomes drop back, have some time to throw. They went really, really hardcore Bill Walsh, West Coast offense. One, boom, get the ball out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they knew they didn't have the pieces at wide receiver. Also, how good was that offensive line? Andy Reid's not a dummy. He
Yeah, I
knows.
think Mahomes is scrambling actually more this year than what I've remembered in the last couple of years.
Uh-huh.
I think there was a lot more
I think
of
it's
like
more out
him
of
having
necessity.
Yeah.
And that could be in part too. I don't think you have a consistent running game in Kansas City either. And again, I love Pacheco. I think he's an awesome back.
Yeah.
It's just there wasn't a consistent running game, and that falls on both running back and O line. I don't know enough about it to know which one it's more.
Well, look at what you do with Saquon going from a bad offensive line to a good offensive line. I mean,
And all he does is almost break the regular season rushing
almost
record.
broke Dickerson's
could
record.
have.
Yeah.
I mean the yards before contact for Saquon. That offensive line is what got him his year he's had.
yeah.
Because he was like 6 yards before he even got contacted.
And once he gets ahead of steam, watch
when,
out.
And when
The
a running back is
linebackers.
going
Yeah.
downhill,
Yeah,
like
you're
that,
you're
Good
running
luck.
your Saquon size running back hitting a linebacker before you're even touched.
That's tough.
I mean,
real
yeah,
tough.
he's gonna get 20,
and
30,
that's with
40
him going down
yard
and not the
runs
linebacker
and-
going downhill.
Yeah.
and that makes a difference.
So you're a linebacker going side to side with a running back full bore in your face.
Yep.
I mean, that's hard. So it's a big difference when you got a good offensive line that you're running behind. that you're
and that's where I go to
passing
with the Chiefs is I think they were very sound in tackling Saquon. I was very impressed with how well they tackled him.
Yeah.
It was very clear that Saquon was not going to beat them, and so that's why I think defensively Kansas City is fine.
I do
probably
think
just
you
add
have
more
to bring in a
depth.
replacement for Chris Jones.
Yeah.
I
Chris
think,
Jones is a
Go
Hall of
gra-
Fame defensive tackle
Go draft
right
the
now.
biggest,
They-
baddest dude from Georgia. Just
Yeah,
do what the Eagles have
apparently,
done. That's my advice.
Dude, or I guess Kansas City doesn't necessarily need a rush with George Karlaftis out of Purdue there, but Abdul Carter, I see a lot of mock drafts. Abdul Carter's, they're saying people are saying he's number one overall. Not Cam Ward, not Shador, not
Interesting.
Travis. It's Abdul Carter.
Who was the
Interesting.
one pick?
Who is the one pick this year? I don't even know.
Is it Tennessee?
Tennessee, I think.
Oh man,
I think
well, they need
Tennessee got it.
quarterback. Unless they're really gonna stick with Will Levis, but we can do that for another segment.
Yeah,
But,
that's a whole nother topic.
It was at 45 minutes here, new record.
Yeah. Well, do we want to wrap up our Super
Yeah, I think we've
Bowl
beat that
talk?
one
Yeah,
enough.
I think. Yep, we got our picks in for next year, and
I think
we'll
that topic's
see- watch
pretty
how
much
they'll be
dead.
You watch next year. We got Arizona Cardinals versus who? Seattle Seahawks. Not couldn't be.
Yeah, it's
I'm
the
an idiot.
NFC Championship.
Yeah, I'm a moron. Arizona Cardinals, Cleveland Browns.
No, not Cleveland. That's like the impossible pick.
Yeah,
gotta go more
never
realistic, like
never gonna
Raiders or
happen.
something.
Yeah. I don't know. Both those teams are in shambles right now. It's a mess.
It'd be the most
Raiders
crazy
is a
Super
better-
Bowl. It'd be
Raiders is
the greatest
better
year of the
than-
NFL ever if that ever happened. How much? You mentioned the chaos. Be wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick question before we wrap this up. If we get like a Bills Vikings or two teams that have never won the Super Bowl, even lost in the Super Bowl,
Right.
does that Super Bowl just go into perpetuity? Does it actually end? Can it end? Can one of those teams actually win the Super Bowl? Or is it just never
Yeah,
ending
the clock-
overtime because
what?
neither team has the ability to win?
Buffalo's 0-4. Minnesota's 0-4. Those are the one. Those are the
Is
two.
it
Yeah.
just the most cursed Super Bowl that never ends?
The Vikings are definitely more cursed for sure because they've had some amazing teams and they just
Put it in a
Find a way to
time
screw up.
loop and it just
Just never ending.
forever
Yeah.
the Super Bowl Bills. It's the world is the Vikings Bills Super Bowl.
People think it's an apocalypse. Nope.
It's just Vikings Bills Super Bowl.
Vikings Bills Super Bowl.
it's American football people.
All right, we'll be back in a little bit.